Oh boy, let's kick it off. Friday night at the MCG, it is the Richmond Tigers versus the Western Bulldogs. Sensible Dan, who's getting this one done and why?
Well, this was set to be an absolute barn burner last week. I couldn't wait. All the big names coming out to play, and now all the big names are just about on the sidelines, packed it in for the next couple of weeks. So, bit sad on that front, but it should still be an absolute cracker. I'm expecting this to be match of the round, no two ways about it. Tigers are in need of a little bit of a scalp here. I think that they need to get a big win. And the Dogs are just a team to beat.
Is it time to hit the panic alarm at Punt Road? Too soon? Too early?
If they win this,
yeah.
No, just jokes.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think it's time to hit the panic stations. We've discussed at length, week on week. They know when to get up and about, and they do it better than anybody. Last week was a real kick in the teeth for them. They got absolutely trounced, really.
Big time.
Once Dusty left the game, that was it. And I think that presents a big issue. Dusty being out is you pull the heart out of a body. What happens? Dies, and I think that's what happens here.
Very interesting. What do we reckon, Des?
I agree, but I agree on who's going to win. I think the Dogs are going to get up. I think they've still got the talent, even though they've got the big outs. They've still got the talent to roll over the Tigers, especially if the Tigers play how they did last week from the second to the fourth quarter. They played all right in the first quarter. They dominated play. They look like Richmond. They look like a normal Richmond side, and then obviously, as everyone saw, they got rolled bad by a D's tide. But
Dogs just look untouchable though. They just look untouchable at the moment. Everything they do is perfect. Even if like GWS kept pace with them for a lot of the game, and then they just rolled.
And that's just what they do. They just it's like when a shark, or alligator, they grab you and they take you out to
death roll them
until you can't breathe. And you think this poor little sheep, as I saw in Rwanda, there are gators in Rwanda. Poor little sheep just got dragged into the swamp. Guess what? He thought he could swim for about 5 seconds until he realised.
So the sheep in this analogy is Richmond, and the alligator is Dogs.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But I don't think it's panic stations for Richmond. I don't, because they'll come out and win, 8 games in a row in the middle of the season. Everyone will be riding on the bandwagon. So if they lose to the Western Bulldogs, I think it'd be a good time to have a look at the odds for the premiership. So I reckon they'd be paying $7-8.
And we saw this exact same scenario a few years ago.
I was just thinking that.
Blokes started dropping like flies for the Tigers. They brought in all these kids, and all it did was set them up well in September because they had the deepest league in the league again.
Last year for COVID, Koch and all that were leaving. I was bagging Richmond, saying lack of culture, and then look at them. So no, they know what they're doing. They've proved me wrong before, so I'm not going to jump off the Richmond premiership bandwagon, but that's not what's at hand this week. Dogs going to get up.
Making a lot of sense. For those who aren't aware of the Tigers' current injury concerns, once you're done just rampaging through the set here.
I just rhinoceros the table.
You are unbelievable. Look, there's no Dusties out with a concussion for at least a week. No Lambert, no Grimes, probably no Grimes as it stands, busted an ankle. No Vlosten. That's a big uh-oh. Do you know what I mean?
And
That's
likely no McIntosh as well.
Do you know what I mean?
There's blokes.
It's problematic. Now, you could say, Chol can come back in, he's got experience. Jack Ross can come back in, he's got experience. Maurice Rioli and Egg, Callum Coleman-Jones,
I'd like to see Paddy Nash get another go as well.
Yeah, he bloody deserves it. Well, I'd like to look at him in 2019 when we saw a big chunk of him. Look, they've got lads with experience that can come back in, but no one's replacing Dusty. He's got the talismanic effect of Lance Franklin, but he's actually good and stays on the field and does stuff, which is arguably more important.
That's the best analogy ever.
Just quietly as well. Dusty is so durable. I think, what were they saying last week? He played 249 out of a possible 257 prior to last week. That's ridiculous considering the role he plays, how physical he is. Yeah. But it's probably the softest concussion I've ever seen. It was. Sometimes that's how it happens. Those innocuous things. It was nothing. I know. It was crazy. Crazy
can you go down?
It's sometimes that's the way it goes. Look, no Dunkley either for the Dogs, of course, out with a shoulder reco, going to be gone for 3 months. But look, it feels like the Tigers are just trending down just a little bit, just at the moment, and the Dogs are trending up. So look, I've got to jump on the Doggies bandwagon here. 1-39 for mine. And as you mentioned just beforehand, the Giants stayed with them and dragged them down into like a nasty defensive-y sort of a contest. And the Dogs just weathered it and then bounced out and won by, good 35, 40 points in the end?
Started chipping the ball around, tied the Giants out, and then, like you said, just dragged them under the water and finished them off. I'll be interested to see. I think there's going to be some kids getting about in this game who are going to be taking the limelight that they'll be getting in a few years' time, like Shai Bolton. Yeah. He's looked great the last couple of weeks, and now with Dusty out, time to shine.
Always
you would think Baz Smith will get back in the middle for the Dogs now that Dunkley's out as well. He'll join that rotation. So
I thought Lipinski comes in.
It's going to be good to see a few of the kids getting a bit more airtime.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes down to the Dogs have got speed just like what Melbourne did. And we saw what Melbourne did to the Tigers last week, and that was with Dusty. So no Dusty. Look, I don't want to say I told you so, but I think that's where it's going. Let's talk a few bets. I have got a little multi for you.
Surprise.
I was picking. Who'd have thought it? I was picking up exactly what you were saying about Shai Bolton. Shai Bolton for 25 or more is paying something like $1.91 at the minute.
Yep.
So I had to, I had to do it to him. I had to do it to him. Shai Bolton in there for 25. A big Bash Hooley in for 20. I want McRae for 30. I want Treloar for 25, and I want Treloar for a goal at any time of the game. And that's paying about $7.40 at the moment.
Lovely. I had Treloar goal as well. And the other one I've got is Taylor Dre, 15 plus, $1.45. He just does 15 every week, easy. Buyer beware. Stay away from Caleb Daniel. He's had a massive role change, and he looks stinky. So if you're looking at laying any money on that, don't.
Don't do that.
Absolutely don't do that.
Don't go there. You got anything to add?
No helmet, no bet.
No? No helmet, no bet.
Well, he still has the helmet, but no bet.
Do the good folk of Rwanda have any bets for this game?
No, they don't actually know what football is.